Welcome to the Playcrafter Kids Clubhouse. It's a special club where stories come alive. My name is Deanna, and I'll be your storyteller today. My question to you is, do you have a favorite story, and why? Maybe you like the illustrations, the pictures, the adventure, or the message. I have so many it's hard to count. Today, we're going to be enjoying The Book Tree by Paul Zajac and Rachine Carrier. Pay attention to the main character Arlo and how he makes a difference. So, are you ready to join me on an adventure, reader? Okay, great. Get comfy and let's jump right in. Nestled in the branches of a tree, Arlo opened his book and breathed in. Beginnings were always the best part. They smelled as if anything were possible. Bonk! I'm sorry, Mayor. I got lost in my book and it slipped. Preposterous! Books are dangerous. I don't trust them. They act like seeds which grow into ideas, and ideas turn into questions. I will tell you what you need to know. First, the mayor gathered every book in the library, and then every book in the whole town. Then he tore them up until all that was left was a single page that floated away in a passing breeze. Arlo chased the page as it blew across town. It reminded him of a dandelion seed drifting on a wish. When it landed, the muddy earth swallowed it letter by letter until it too was gone. Arlo thought that perhaps the mayor was right. After all, he'd been elected mayor. He must know something. But without books, Arlo noticed changes wherever he looked. At school, teachers had nothing to read, so story time became nap time. Without cookbooks, restaurants served only dry cereal. No one went to the theater since actors had nothing to act out. And in the place Arlo loved most, all the shelves were empty. Arlo sat where the last page was buried. He missed the crack and creak of a book's spine the first time you open it. He longed for the smell and the crisp texture of a book's pages. But most of all, he missed getting lost in an epic adventure. Sadly, Arlo scratched 2 words into the dirt. The end. Endings were the worst part of any book. But as he stared at the words, they grew into an idea. Arlo sat with pencil and paper and let his ideas flow. He read his stories out loud to anyone who passed by, but no one stopped to listen. Then Arlo heard something, a sound he thought he'd never hear again, that familiar crack and creak. When Arlo looked for the source of the sound, he saw a sprout springing from where the page had been buried. It began to open its leaves. It reached for Arlo's words, begging for more. With every story Arlo wrote and read aloud, the sprout grew. Arlo wrote a story about a giant, and the tree grew tall, stretching for the clouds. He wrote about a fire-breathing beast, and his branches became as strong as dragon's claws. He wrote about a magical swan made of paper, and blooms of tissue paper blossomed into books. When the books were ripe, Arlo climbed into the branches of the book tree and breathed deeply, enjoying the fruits of his harvest. While Arlo read, a friend stopped under the tree. "I'm bored. There's nothing to do." "You could try reading," Arlo said. "Is that a book?" "Yup. Here, I love this story," Arlo said, giving her a hand up into the tree. The two who shared the shady spot. Soon flocks of readers roosted on the limbs. Books spread through the town like pollen in the wind. People grew hungry for reading again. Some wrote their own stories and became book gardeners themselves. Fiery maples bloomed with picture books, willows wept with poetry, and fruit trees filled with cookbooks flourished. As the trees grew, the town blossomed. The mayor, lost in his mayoral work, was oblivious to all the changes. That is, until a ripe book fell on his head. Bonk! The mayor kicked and stomped. Who planted these trees? You did, sir, Arlo said. When you tore up the books, it planted an idea. Impossible! This is the second time my head is hurting because of a book. The trees have to be cut down. But we've become a town of books and stories. You can't cut them down. The mayor walked the streets of the town. He gorged himself at one of the 5-star restaurants, caught a show in the park, and lost himself in a story about a boy fishing for a whale in a puddle. Books did all of this? The mayor asked, astonished. No, Arlo said, as he handed the mayor a freshly picked story. The book was just the seed. Wow, stories are so powerful. Arlo made a difference in his community by taking a stand for what he believed in. I believe our environment should be clean, so I'm going to help by picking up trash safely. What about you? Well, I'm ready to go out and make a difference. I wonder where our story will take us next. Thank you so much for joining me, reader. I'll see you next time.